Evil Hamas is down in the dumps. Israel is going all out to isolate Hamas and destroy its leadership as a strategy to free the hostages and erase the Hamas threat. The plan is comprehensive, integrating military, diplomatic, and psychological pressure to secure Israel's goals. Now, Israel is poised to initiate yet another significant military operation targeting the famine-ravaged Gaza City. The global community, along with the vast majority of Palestinians and a considerable number of Israelis, has long desired an end to the hostilities, and a ceasefire appeared attainable just a month ago. However, the situation is expected to escalate into further violence, nearly 2 years following Hamas's assault on October 7, 2023. And this comes at a time when growing pockets of public protest have emerged against the Hamas terror group. Even as Palestinians pay the human price for a war Hamas started, the Gaza-based terror group has failed to release all the hostages and lay down its arms. Hamas will not surrender anytime soon, and Israeli soldiers are on the rampage. Here's all you need to know. First and foremost, why is Hamas unlikely to surrender? Netanyahu claims that the conflict could conclude as soon as Hamas frees the hostages and disarms. However, he has also indicated that Israel will continue its indefinite security oversight of Gaza and promote what he refers to as the voluntary resettlement of a significant portion of Gaza's inhabitants. Many Palestinians and others argue that this would effectively constitute forced removal, and it is unacceptable to Hamas. Hamas has expressed its readiness to free the remaining 50 hostages, fewer than half of whom Israel believes are still alive, in return for Palestinian prisoners, a sustainable ceasefire, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces. It has also indicated a willingness to transfer authority to other Palestinians. However, it has firmly dismissed the idea of disarming or seeking refuge elsewhere. Should Hamas decide to disarm, verifying such an action would pose significant challenges. Other militant factions could quickly emerge to take Hamas's place, as many Palestinians, including those who oppose Hamas, perceive this as a valid form of armed resistance against military occupation. A similar situation unfolded when the Palestine Liberation Organization, the dominant militant entity of that era, chose to go into exile in Tunisia following Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982. 5 years later, Hamas emerged prominently in Gaza during the onset of a Palestinian uprising. Let's now take a look at how Palestinians are fed up with the vile and wicked ways of Hamas. In recent months, Palestinians have flooded the streets of Gaza in an unusual and straightforward expression of frustration towards Hamas. A significant number of people in Gaza are now holding the Iran-backed terror group responsible for bringing devastation and bloodshed to the area. Throughout the war, Hamas has taken human shields and mercilessly thrashed Palestinian civilians trying to escape the intense fighting. On multiple occasions, Hamas terrorists have shot Palestinian civilians in the leg to prevent them from leaving. Hamas not only uses civilians in general, but terrorists reportedly insist their own families stay with them in homes, calling on them to die alongside. Desperation and war are eroding social structures in Gaza, and Hamas's control is not what it was. Since the onset of the conflict, Hamas has significantly diminished its military strength and lost the unchallenged authority it had over Gaza. In an effort to re-establish control, Hamas has formed new policing and internal security units. Cornered, Hamas has also resorted to severe enforcement methods, violent crackdowns, and even public executions. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu asserts that the conflict must persist until every hostage is freed and Hamas is vanquished. He warns that any accord that permits the militant organization to remain intact and armed would enable it to recover and launch another significant assault in the future. Israel's combat operations in Gaza have spotlighted its frighteningly effective military machine. Although it has never acknowledged them, Israel is thought to possess many nuclear warheads. IDF boasts a vast array of fighters, tanks, artillery, missiles, helicopters and drones, in addition to armored personnel carriers. Since 2011, Israel has relied heavily on its multi-billion-dollar Iron Dome missile defense system to intercept and destroy short-range rockets. The IDF also has several dozen surface vessels, including around 15 warships and 5 Dolphin-class submarines. Heron, Hermes, and Skylark are among the formidable unmanned aerial vehicles in the IDF's inventory. Israel is believed to have missiles and aircraft that would be capable of carrying nuclear weapons.